Good evening. With your CIGTV news update, I'm Simon Boxall, in for Donna Bush. Today's top story shares all the excitement at last night's National Primary Spelling Bee. The yearly competition went into overtime as 5 students from 4 schools posted flawless performances. A crowd of parents, teachers, and supporters waited anxiously for the outcome. Unable to stump the students, officials and sponsors eventually agreed to name all 5 champions. The winners were Jordan Saunders from Cayman Academy, Onika Duncan and Shante Reed from Georgetown Primary, Javon Lewison from Prospect Primary, and Theodore Thompson from Truth for Youth. Congratulations to them. Well done. Royal Bank of Canada sponsors the Primary Spelling Bee. Tonight's National Secondary Spelling Bee is sponsored by the Lions Club. The competition begins at 6 p.m. at John Gray High School. Last night, the Family Resource Center recognized 7 young women who had successfully completed its Young Parents Services program. The program focuses on helping young parents develop positive parenting skills and trains them to provide the care needed to raise a young family. It also focuses on work readiness. The young participants received certificates to mark their successful completion of the program. This is the second graduating class for the Young Parents Services program. Its predecessor, the Young Parents Program, began in the early 1990s. For more information, contact the Family Resource Center at 949-0006 or email frc@gov.ky. Lighthouse School students recently benefited from the generosity of some newcomers to the Cayman Islands. The school was given 110 new iPads and covers. Wow, it's incredible, which is enough for every student to use in the classroom. Mr. Chris Gill and Mrs. Deborah Gill made the presentation on International Day for Persons with Disabilities. That was Tuesday, the 3rd of December. The Gills run Global Waymakers, a charitable foundation that, among other objectives, supports young persons, which it describes as specially abled. Following the donation, Lighthouse student Tristan Ramjeet presented the couple with a handmade present and card signed by the entire student body and staff.
We have a non-profit organization, and we raise money to help, the less fortunate, if you will, just around the world. So everywhere we travel, we look for opportunities. We have a son, Logan, who had Down syndrome. We have 5 children, and he was one of our 5. And he was just the life of the party. He just loved singing karaoke. He just, if he was there today, he would want to come up and take the microphone, and he was just a real joy. And we didn't even have names. We were Logan's mom and dad, because everybody loved Logan. And he contracted leukemia last year at the age of 23. And so it was a really hard 6 months, and we lost him. And so, but with having Logan's incredible touch in our lives, we understand the challenges. We understand the privileges of being parents of a special child.
The Lighthouse School caters to young people aged 5 to 18 years with special educational needs. It also has an early intervention program for children from birth to 5 years. Public meetings on the proposed National Conservation Law continue tonight in Northside. As part of the final push for public consultation, CIGTV sat down with the Department of Environment to talk about some of the key issues that underpin the law. Director Jeannie Ebanks-Petrie spoke to us about the key role that public consultation plays in the draft legislation.
People will cite Section 41 and say, oh, but it doesn't just apply to Crown land or protected areas, it applies to everywhere. Well, Section 41 is not about protected areas. Section 41 is about the duty of government entities and agencies to consult on environmental issues before they make a decision that may affect the environment generally. So I think people need to understand that the law says about, with respect to protected areas, only Crown land may be protected. But when it comes to development control, there's a duty to consult on impacts generally.
CIGTV and Government Information Services have also attended the district meetings in West Bay and Boddentown to get a sense of the public opinion on this issue. In West Bay on Monday night, Mr. Clarence Bothwell said, "Something has to be done. We've already lost too much in the name of development. For instance, everyone wants development, but without the mangrove swamps, which affects everything from the amount of rainfall we get to the clarity of the waters and the marine breeding grounds, our sea life will naturally disappear. Mr. Creswell Powery added, "They used to call us cockeyed conservationists when we advocated for conservation laws 40 years ago. We're not too late, but once the law is passed, it also needs to be enforced." In Bodentown last night, the minister took to the floor to answer questions.
I've heard all of it. Heard all of it. My problem is with this that we have said for 30 years. You want it? Buy it. We're willing to sell. But you're now telling me that you don't control the money. National Trust doesn't control the money. The Finance Committee controls the money. Well, I'd like to know how long will it take from the time that I stand in front of all these people that my land is for sale for you to buy it?
Mr. Miller, thank you for that question. Any kind of land agreement depends on a willing purchaser and a willing seller. You have clearly indicated that you're a willing seller. I unfortunately know nothing about your land, where it is, whether it may be of any potential interest for these purposes.
The National Trust wants it.
For content. Well, the National Trust has, they have their own assets that they can purchase as well. Sorry?
And they own it and
Well, they're all entitled to opinions on that. But my point is this: until someone thinks that your land has a value, I don't think that it means because you want to sell it that there's going to be someone that comes along and says, "Yeah, because you want to sell it, that's fine." That's not how it works, obviously.
Tonight's meeting takes place at 7:30 p.m. at the Northside Civic Center. Meetings continue through Monday, December 9th. As always, if you missed today's news update, you can get all the details on our Facebook and YouTube pages. I'm Simon Boxall. Good night, and thanks for watching.